no, not again! Why do they run faster every week? Not today, Chex! Seriously? You gotta be kidding me.
Welcome back to another episode. We gotta address the Mary Ann Lorient phenomenon and her delusion once again. So for all y'all that's just getting in here, or you ain't seen on one of the other panels, which I know this is nothing new, every time her views is low, what she do is she go out and she finds somebody new to attack, you know? And when she finds somebody to attack, she says whatever comes to her head, but she also say the things that she cries about when other people say them to her, you know? And this is her, she has a pattern, and this is her pattern. Her pattern is she put out some of her other content that she think is gonna hit. Then when it don't hit, she either talks about Umar or she will find somebody in the sector to attack. And the first time she did it, she went after Lady Luck, Ren, and she picked and chose certain people who she wanted to, you know, direct her attacks at. You know, when the whole saga started, we all know who she was going after, because she felt like he should have just went along with her BS. And he felt like she should have, no matter what, and no matter how absurd her lies was, he should have just, I guess, go along with the program, whatever the program might have been, you know? So if you really know how she moved, you can see that this is her regular shit. She put out her I don't even want to call it for what it is, but she put out her show talking about relationships. That joint goes nowhere. She put out her show talking about, I guess, hot topics or whatever topics that is with old boy that got issues of his own. That shit don't go nowhere. So now she'll put out an Umar video. She'll get like about 1,000 views, a little over 1,000 views. You know, that'll make her feel, you know, like she getting somewhere. She'll be hyped up with that. And then when that ain't working, she go right back to finding somebody. We all know she went on her whole campaign of striking everybody. And she said she got that idea from old boy, so, which I think was some BS for him to even give her that idea. And yeah, you know, that's how it goes. That's the type of person you playing with. But like I said, I'll show you what I mean by that. So when you look at her channel, right? Like I was saying, when you look at her channel, you will see on her channel how her views is. Now, I will give her credit to this monthly earnings, what they saying on here. I don't believe that, because, you know, I know that's a guesstimate. I don't even know if they go up, but I know that'd be wrong. I do know that. I'll say that'd be wrong, right? But this is her latest target. Her latest victim is the the Working Man podcast. I seen a video or two of his before, you know. I'm not gonna lie and say that I've been on his streams and I watch his joint all the time, you know, but I seen at least one or two videos. And the whole thing with her is she picking and choosing her battles on who she wanna come at. You know what I mean? She picking and choosing that. And you can see right here when I zoomed in. That views right there she got talking about him. That's like the best she did in a while, getting 420. That's her average on most of her videos, right? But as you can see, 10 days ago, she did an interview with old boy that had his fake what the hell was that? When he said that he wrote the movie or whatever, a movie that if he did that and they made his way somehow all the way to Hollywood into these Hollywood executives, he should have had something on it, you know, some type of contingency plan, some type of manager, or somebody that's out there searching for his material, you know. So she realized her game plan that controversy sells. So she's going to talk about him, you know. As you see, she got 420 views in what? One day. And as far as you can see that little controller rim run, just so you can be stand corrected, that's a PlayStation 4 and a 360. That's not a PlayStation 5. She wasn't stunting on nobody, bro. I'm a game collector. I know that. And so you see this shit, he don't even look like he ever wrote anything, you know? 202 views. Urban Corner, 175 views. She talk about Umar, like I told you, when it ain't working, she gonna go talk about Umar. She get 1.2. You go down to her and her eyelash queen, 229. The interview that she's crying about with this building inspector, that she worked so hard. My opinion, I could be wrong, you dig? But her timeline ain't adding up. So she had this interview booked to talk to him about doing how the inspections work before she even had her fallout. Because when was the fallout? A couple of months ago, right? Like what? The beginning of the year? That's when the fallout was, around January. So she said she had this book for 5 months. So she had it booked for 5 months. So she had it booked since what, December? January at the latest. But let's say December, November, if you go by her timeline. So that sounds like bullshit, or unless she was working with Umar from the gate, like a lot of people is thinking that she was sent to be a distraction, you know? And then the other joint with her and whoever this dude is right here, you know, with the glasses. Yeah, see, they try to talk about the stolen strip before. I guess this is the second interview they had with him. They got 382. Then she gave her feedback about the Breakfast Club, because like I said, shit was getting low. So, you know, she talked about Umar, which you watch that shit, she ain't know what the hell she was talking about, because she said that she contacted Angela Lee, and Angela Lee at this point was off the show for about 4 years. I ain't mistaken, since like 2022. So you see where her brain is at. Then, as we tell her she need to put down the drink, she went to the damn winery. That got her 360 views, and she did all that and joined the club for 4 bottles of wine, bro. She could have went to Kroger's or Food Lion or pick any supermarket or store to go to at that point, you know? Then she did her public apology, because you know that's when we was all in that Mary Ann Lorient sector. But that shit wasn't no apology, because that's when she went and made it like a declaration of war and started talking crazy. You get what I mean? So you see the pattern, like I said. But back when, and then she said, like just to address a few things, she said old boy was a lazy content creator, right? But all her shit was, and I'm pretty sure most of these views is people clicking in just to see what she was talking about so they could tear it apart, you know? She did with another interview with the dude talking about him a month ago. So, alright, so if this is the one she's talking about with this dude, that if it was a month ago, that would put her at March. And then she said 5 months before that, so she means she had this interview set up before the fallout. That shit don't sound right. Then she did the Jaguar Wright joint. That gave her best views because she put Leonard, but she spelled his name. She put Leonard, but she put Arna's name up in here and stuff. And she think that fucking Jaguar Wright was on her side when she was really talking shit about her, but we all know she ain't that bright. Then she talked about old boy, right? So let me get back to what I was saying about that, because she talked about him from Working Man Podcast and said he's a lazy content creator, right? But when you go through her page, all her shit is her taking other people's content, say 2 or 3 things or say powerful and and leave the S off. How lazy can she get? She's so lazy she don't even know how to stream, record, or download. All she do is take a phone or some bullshit and fucking try to scream, like film her scream. Like, who does that? You got a whole movie studio that you could go in and you should be producing some world-class goddamn videos at this point. But you sitting there doing it, and I'm gonna use your own words. You talking about old boy, because what you said? Hurt people, hurt people. Hurt people, hurt people. She think that with fair use or anything is only if we say nice things about her content. If your joint is good, people ain't gotta like you, but they'll give you credit for your joint being good. But if your joint is trash, it's trash. Get over it. Make better content. But nobody like think that your content is that good, you know? Nobody think that. And if you're so like better than everybody and so profane, where's your next movie? You shouldn't even have time to respond or be sitting there looking at it and talking crazy on people and calling them lazy content creators when your work is pretty lazy. You know what I mean? You did about a couple of original things, but you got other people's shit on a paywall. You know, so that's crazy to take some of the other stuff and then put it on members only, you know? And like I said, you got Coco videos on your joint. You got Don Lemon videos on your joint. That you got a couple of Don Lemon joints, so don't talk about lazy. You got a couple of his. You got your queen, you got her videos reacting to your queens, you know? So cut it out. You got a lot of Carissa's joint, but you got her joint. And the crazy thing is, so I see you and old boy, I see a couple of like, that's like he's part of your little community that said that he wrote that joint. And the crazy shit, you got all this, you still got up the video unedited of the one with Polite in it, you know? So that's crazy. And then you talk about him begging for coins or whatever and cash apps or whatever, but you got a video on your members only that said hit the cash app. Then I'm pretty sure that's probably somebody else's video. So you got a lot of nerve. You're the pot calling the kettle black. You the pot calling the kettle black, and you got a whole lot of Umar joint on your show. So stop talking about everybody else who make videos about Umar. Stop talking about everybody else that do reaction content, because majority of your shit is reaction content. You know? Majority of it is, and it's no editing involved. It looks ridiculous. Like you could have did this over. You could even went to Fiverr. You supposed to be rich. You could have went to Fiverr and got them edit. You got a production company. You should have editors on call, you know? Pay them a little bit of money and they could have edited it for you, you know? The Rule 130 video, no, I don't believe that shit. That's one thing I won't put on him. But it's crazy for you to have Don Lemon and other like legit commentary channel stuff on these stuff behind a paywall, behind your members only, you know? All because you lied. You lied and just kept doubling and tripling down on that lie. And now people that says stuff about your content that you don't like, you want to sit there and talk about them. You know? Which that's crazy. It's utterly ridiculous how you talk about everybody else, and it's people out here that can give you a taste of your own medicine if they felt like sending out strikes. Just, you know, some of us don't do that. Don't want to do that either. You know? That's all that is. It ain't that we can't do it. We decide not to do it. That's some of us giving you grace, as you say. You show grace. She don't know what to do with herself. And she, like said, you seem like a nice guy. It's people out here that's giving her that work, and she don't want that no more. So I guess you her next target. But you're like the third or fourth channel that I seen that ain't go hard on her that she went hard on, that I felt like was wow, you know. And it's people that went hard on her that she ain't got nothing to say to, you know. And it's females I noticed too that been coming at her and she don't got nothing to say, because she know most men ain't gonna do the back and forth. But there's a couple of female that came at her and she damn sure ain't got nothing to say about that, because she know that it's gonna go, she gonna get all the smoke, you know. She made the fake check, which we all know that check was full of, you know, manure. You know, she tried too hard and still failed. But that's it. I ain't even gonna say no more. I'll probably go live or something to address anything else. But I got a couple of videos in the chamber. Like, even what's playing in the background, as y'all can see. I did a video to that joint before. I decided not to release it. So I just, you know, you can see the graphics right now, but I decided not to release it. But I might do a video breaking down more her story, how it's bullshit about the what's the name of that shit? The 39 other plaintiffs on that class action suit. First off, a class action suit wouldn't have been wrapped up in a month, but we all know that. That's neither here nor there. Another thing too, tell from watching your videos and you keep mentioning this about knowing Umar and actually dealing with Umar. That do not give you no type of status. He is not a hero. We are here proving how he's a fraud. You still think that he gives you some notoriety or some credibility, and you said a comment to this dude that you're a superstar. You're not a superstar. How you are on this screen is exactly how most of us see you. We see you for what you are. So you need to humble yourself. And like I told you before, focus on content creating, but you need to sit back and learn some editing skills and learn how to do things that people actually want to see and hear. You know, you said you was gonna go sit outside that damn building until he opened it up or you run into him. And we know you wasn't gonna do that shit. We know you was just talking to be talking. You talk about how you know him and all these donations and you never even been there before. So it's neither here nor there. But you definitely need to get your act together and stop trying to look down on people and stop talking about people like you better than somebody, and stop picking on the low-hanging fruit. You dig? Because you know when you pick on other people, especially a female, they're gonna get you. They're gonna eat you up. And you picking and choosing which females you want to have that smoke with, because you know you pick certain people, which you learned your lesson with Lady Luck. I don't think you want any of that smoke anymore. You don't want that again. Because if you don't know you took an L on that, well, guess what? You took an L on that. You lost that one. That one goes to Lady Luck. You about, yeah, she probably 5-0'd you. And we all know you don't want no problem with, you know, Raw B. We all know that. You don't want none of that action. You know, and I don't know about your homegirl, because, you know, I was on vacation, so I don't even know what's what with that. I ain't been following, so I don't know. But you need to cut it out and just move on. Keep getting your little views. In about 3 months, you'll get a check. And just leave that man name out your mouth and fall back. You dig? Just fall back, because we're going to ruin you out here. Your views going to continue to drop. You keep picking on different content creators, because then nobody's going to look at you as somebody to feel some sympathy through. Right now, a lot of people feel sorry for you because you sit and make these imaginary stories up, and the only one that believe them is you. And maybe, oh boy, he might believe that shit. He look like he believe anything, you know. But besides that, it is what it is. You do what you gotta do. We gonna do what we gotta do. And if you keep talking, you're going to be made content. You know? Like, we don't want you to disappear. Let's get that clear too. We don't want you to disappear. We want you to stay where you at because we're having a good time dealing with you. So stay where you at. Do not disappear. Nobody wants that. You know? We just want you to be a little more, you know, entertaining, you know? Be entertaining. If your show was entertaining, be entertaining. Like, I ain't watched none of your interviews, so I can't tell you if they good or bad. I ain't never watched the movie, so I can't tell you if it's good or bad. I heard many bad reviews, but I also heard one good review. Shout out to Pettigoat, because that's the only one who said that it was a good bad movie, you know? But other than that, I ain't really hear nothing of the sort. And like, somebody mentioned it, because you talk about other content creators regurgitating stuff, but you watch our content and then you go regurgitating or making up stories around our content. Because if you go, anybody, I challenge y'all, go back and look at these panels on certain things we say and then go watch her plays and you'll see that she had to be listening, or old boy was listening, but I don't believe he listened to that. He might have sent her the link, but I believe she sat through and listened to that stuff herself, you know? But it is what it is. It's going to do what it do. And that's that. But I'm about to get up out of here and move on to the next one. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. And until next time, stay blessed. Hit that like button. Drop a comment. Let me know how you feel about it. And peace.